All right, this is 10.2, creating the Bill of Rights. For all his hopes, John Hancock, the guy who had his feet all bandaged, he never got to be president. By a narrow vote, Virginia did ratify the Constitution. In the first presidential election held in 1789, George Washington became the nation's first president. John Adams of Massachusetts was chosen to be vice president. When the first Congress met that year, no one seemed in much of a hurry to amend the Constitution. Amend means to change the Constitution or add things to it. Representative James Madison, however, did not forget the promises made during the ratification debate. Remember, they were arguing about like Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. They were like, there's not enough information here on how the individual is going to be treated. And then the Federalists are like, well, just go ahead and approve this Constitution, and then we'll amend it with the Bill of Rights. Originally, he had opposed adding a Bill of Rights to the Constitution, James Madison. Such a listing seemed unnecessary to him. Thomas Jefferson helped change his mind. In a letter to Madison, Jefferson argued that a Bill of Rights is what the people are entitled to against every government on earth, and what no just government should refuse. While Congress debated other issues, Madison sifted through nearly 100 proposed amendments. He chose those that seemed least controversial or likely to cause conflict and presented them to Congress on June 8, 1789. Critics jumped on Madison's proposals as meaningless milk and water cures for imaginary problems. The debate that followed was, in Madison's words, extremely difficult. As months dragged on with no agreement, he wrote to a friend that the Bill of Rights had become a nauseous project. Still, he persevered until Congress finally approved 12 amendments. But under the Constitution, 3/4 of the states must ratify an amendment before it can become law. The states rejected the first 2 amendments, which dealt with the size of congressional districts and congressional pay raises. Both amendments were considered unnecessary. By 1791, the required number of states, 9 of them, had approved the other 10 amendments. Together, these 10 amendments form the Bill of Rights. When Madison first proposed the Bill of Rights, some people saw his amendments as useless paper barriers against abuses of government power. For more than 200 years, however, his paper barriers have proven far stronger than even Madison might have hoped. So he came up with 10 of the amendments that were finally approved by Congress. At the time, people just thought they weren't really that useful, but over the 200 years, they've proven far stronger than even Madison might have hoped. So we're going to learn about the 10 amendments that we call the Bill of Rights as we move on here. This was just giving you information on how they were created and when they were approved or ratified. So 1791.